Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Arne Slot makes Luis Diaz admission as he brands Liverpool transfer judgment unfair. Second news is Liverpool have final chance under Arne Slot to change issue that says everything. Third news is Michael Owen on the crazy decision that transformed his life after losing love for football. Now details. Arne Slot believes it is unfair to pass judgment on Liverpool's revamped forward line, given the lengthy absence for much of the season of British record signing Alexander Isak. Despite notching 21 times in their last 7 games in all competitions, the Reds have overall struggled to match their goal-laden form of last season's Premier League, when they were top scorers on the way to the title. The tally of 40 from 25 top-flight games is 20 fewer than they had managed at this stage last term, with 5 other clubs having netted more times in the top flight this campaign. While £79 million Hugo Ekitike has impressed with 15 goals in 33 outings, Isak has been limited to just 3 in 16 appearances, having suffered a number of fitness concerns, the most recent of which saw him break his leg at Tottenham Hotspur before Christmas. Mohamed Salah has experienced an alarming drop in output with a mere 6 goals this season, only one of which has come since November, while Cody Gakpo has struggled to make a consistent impact on the left. Gakpo's form has prompted several observers to question the £65.05 summer sale of Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich, where the Colombian winger has managed 18 goals and 14 assists in 30 games, having delivered 25 goal contributions for Liverpool last season. And asked if Liverpool were missing Diaz, Slot said, "You always miss good football players. He was so important for us last season, but he wasn't the only one. There were more players that were influential in our results, but I think we have replaced them with very good players as well. It is maybe more fair to say that if Alex had been fit, would we have spoken about it then as well?" Slot added, "Luis Diaz is another example of how this club is run. If this club gets for a 28-year-old an offer like that, then this club, because it is built on sustainability, chooses to sell a player, and we are an exception in the Premier League, especially at the top of the Premier League for that. But that is why it is also so nice that we are able to achieve the things we have achieved in the last few years with that model. But he is doing very well at Bayern, and that is not a surprise to me." Second news is Liverpool have final chance under Arne Slot to change issue that says everything. There are many metrics and statistics that highlight where Liverpool have been failing in the Premier League this season, and one will come into particularly sharp focus this evening. Liverpool journey to Sunderland, looking to kickstart their challenge for Champions League qualification and inflict a first home defeat of the season on the Black Cats. And in doing so, they can improve their underwhelming record against promoted teams that very much reflects their overall below-par efforts in the top flight and leaves them in danger of registering another unwanted record for Arne Slot. Should Liverpool not win at the Stadium of Light, it will be the first time during the Premier League era they have earned fewer than 2 wins in games against teams who were in the second tier the previous season. The Reds have this campaign won at Burnley and drawn at home to the Clarets, drawn home and away to Leeds United, and in December been held to a 1-1 stalemate by tonight's opponents. It is in stark contrast to last season when, under Slot, Liverpool won both home and away against Leicester City, Ipswich Town and Southampton on their way to winning the title. With 7 points from 5 games, the Reds have already surpassed their lowest tally of just 6 points against promoted teams when losing 4 times combined in 2010-11 faced by Newcastle United, West Bromwich Albion, and most infamously Blackpool, who did the double over Liverpool that season. But their nearest rivals in the race for Champions League qualification have overall performed better and have more such games in hand. Manchester United have taken 8 points from 4 games against promoted teams, Villa 7 from 3, although Chelsea had already lost at home to Sunderland, and away at Leeds United ahead of the reverse fixture against the latter on Tuesday evening. It places even greater onus on Liverpool gaining victory at Sunderland, against whom they have lost only 5 times in their last 66 league meetings. Of course, the Anfield side struggling to defend the championship is nothing new, having not successfully retained the title since 1984. The following 1984-85 season, they had 39 points from 25 games and were in 7th place. After last weekend, the Reds had 39 points from 25 games this campaign and stood 6th, before rallying to finish 2nd. In search of a 3rd successive crown in 1980-81, Liverpool had a spell of 6 wins in 21 games. Slot's side are currently on a run of 6 in 20, and ended up in 5th, although with the significant bonus of lifting the European Cup. And of course, most recently in 2020-21 under Jurgen Klopp, The Reds at one stage lost 8 out of 12 games, including 6 in a row at an empty Anfield, to drop to 7th and 7 points off the top 4 with just 10 games to go. They eventually finished 3rd. Tonight's trip to Sunderland is the first of 7 of their 13 Premier League games Liverpool have remaining against a team in the top half, the same as Chelsea. For United the number was 6, Villa 5. If Slot's side are going to claim a Champions League qualification berth, it will be the difficult way, and tonight represents an ideal chance to start addressing their shortcomings. Ensure our latest sport headlines always appear at the top of your Google search by making us a preferred source. Click here to activate or add us as preferred source in your Google search settings. Third news is Michael Owen on the crazy decision that transformed his life after losing love for football. One of the biggest challenges facing footballers is life after stepping away from the beautiful game, and for former Liverpool striker Michael Owen, it was no different. By the age of 21, he had already shattered records and was performing at the peak of his powers. 2 match-winning goals in the FA Cup final against Arsenal at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff saw the 2001 showpiece dubbed the Owen Final. Months later, he won the Ballon d'Or. He remains the last English player to do so. But with the dizzying highs of football come the deepest of lows, and the 46-year-old endured an equal amount of both. Even during the blistering start to his career, he suffered a serious hamstring injury in 1999. He would go on to win further silverware, contentiously for Liverpool supporters with Manchester United. But injuries followed the forward wherever he went, and 12 years later, after a number of debilitating setbacks, Owen was forced to hang up his boots at 33, 13 years on from his retirement. The feared goalscorer has now found success in horse racing. But for Owen, the second half of his football career is one that he has previously described as embarrassing. He says in an exclusive interview with The Echo, "It's important when you use the word embarrassed, it's important to put it into context, but my mentality is not one of, just being happy to be there. Early on in my career I was doing all the things that I wanted to do. I was a match winner, I could take the game away from teams, I was quite a destructive player, I could beat players, I could score goals. I could, run quicker than everyone." Fast forward 8 years or whatever from when I made my debut, when you can no longer do those things to the level that you could. You're judging your body, but that is when you just start losing trust in your body. You start losing love for the game. I used to just walk on the pitch with my name on the back of my shirt and think, God almighty, people are seeing me now. Some of these dads have been telling their sons and daughters that he was a brilliant player. Watch this lad play today and then, he's not as good as you said, that type of thing. I just had that feeling that people were seeing a shadow of what I was, and I didn't want people to remember me for that, and in many ways it makes you want to curl up and hide, which sounds really stupid. It was during his 20s that Owen would make an investment and buy an arable farm in Cheshire, later becoming his manor house stables. The decision courted criticism from the press at the time, with claims he was more focused on horse racing than on scoring goals, but the move was one with a future beyond football in mind. Since then, there are now over 140 horses being trained under the manor house stables umbrella. Owen's former Liverpool and England teammate Jamie Carragher was a notable visitor to the establishment last Friday, and it's a venture that has seen the 2-time Premier League Golden Boot lean on his footballing contacts to grow his passion. After being a thorn in the side of Sir Alex Ferguson with Liverpool, and then playing under him at Man United, the legendary manager now entrusts Owen to train his horses for some of the biggest events in the racing calendar. There's a glut of Liverpool players, past and present too, that have a vested interest in the sport that turned to Owen. Andy Robertson is the only current Reds player involved, but former Anfield favourites Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Adam Lallana, Jordan Henderson, James Milner and Steve McManaman also have horses at Manor House. After becoming a key player in the Premier League, Owen is now proud of establishing himself in the Premier League of horse racing, a purpose in life that he found after his career was curtailed by injury.